would like to give a resounding round of applause. A resounding round of applause to Maga. Why? Oh, baby, you haven't heard? You voted for your own demise. It just got worse.
Well, you just couldn't call, could you, Magas? You just couldn't help out a few thousand or million people.
And what I would like to request is I need every single person that voted to push this bill, I need them to get on TV and tell us exactly what they are wanting out of this. And what, like, do they understand what's going to happen when if this bill gets pushed? Because I don't want to hear any of this, oh, I didn't know it was going to get cut. I didn't know Medicaid was going to get cut. I didn't vote for this. I didn't vote for this. I need you to tell me right now. I need you to verbally say it. It's not enough to know who voted for the bill. I need to know why.
The big, beautiful bill. How's that going? You know it has to be bad for a sorry-ass Republican to sit up here and retire. Give up his career before he can support some lames like this.
Trump supporters, I hope y'all know what y'all did. We don't want to hear a damn thing when y'all realize y'all have lost everything.
We don't want to hear when you lose your Medicaid. We don't want to hear when you lose your SNAP.
Welcome back to the channel, my people. I hope that from wherever you all are watching this from, you're doing great, all right, and hopefully God has protected you and preserved you very well. To you that support me on here, engage with the content, my members, shout out to you guys. I do love and appreciate all of your support. We have another interesting episode, and in this one, we are going to be looking at reactions of Americans towards the passing of the big, beautiful bill, because it looks like chances are this bill is going to be signed because, yeah, unfortunately, even if it has to go back to the House is dominated by Republicans. And to be honest, it looks like they don't have a no in their mouth because they are afraid of what DT is going to do to them. This is going to affect a lot of people, and I don't even know. But let's look at some of the reactions of Americans towards this. We'll come back and talk about it. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Do me a favor, like the video, share it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are on here for your very first time.
Do you get it now, liberals? America is going to have conservative values again. Look, we don't care if 15 million people are going to lose health care, okay? They should have gotten a better job. They're poor. Pick yourself up by your bootstraps. I don't care what happens to you. But I'm a good person. And SNAP benefits, we're not giving people food, okay? If you're poor, you can starve. Get a better job. But I'm a good person. And I'm fine with billionaires getting tax breaks. Why? Because I can imagine myself being a billionaire, and I don't want you taking my money. I don't have it now, but if I had it, I don't want you having any. But I'm a good person. And we're done helping other countries, okay? America first, which is technically second, because we will help Israel no matter what they do. They've never done anything wrong. We will bomb countries for them. People might die, I'm a good person. Like, seriously, everybody dies, okay? Women are gonna die sitting in hospital rooms because we won't terminate a pregnancy, because we're gonna have that kid whether the woman lives or not, okay? They will be born with complications and motherless, but I'm a good person. And sure, Jesus told us to love our neighbors or whatever, but no gays live around me, so why should I have to not make their lives difficult, okay? I mean, I find what they do weird and gross. Sue me! But I'm a good person. All conservatives care about is the Constitution. And by the Constitution, I mean the Second Amendment, because that's the only amendment we will ever defend, ever. We will let you take everything else away as long as we can have guns. But we're good people. And spare us your sob stories about immigrant families being torn apart. We don't care, all right? You want to be treated like an American? Be born on U.S. soil, okay? Nope, we're taking that one away. We're taking it away. But we're good people. Bottom line, you want to survive in Trump's America? Don't be poor, or gay, or black, or brown, or trans, or an immigrant. Or a woman. Other than that, you'll be fine. I'm off to Bible study.
Trump supporters, I hope y'all know what y'all did. We don't want to hear a damn thing when y'all realize y'all have lost everything. SNAP, Medicaid, Social Security, Veterans Assistance, FEMA. We don't want to hear y'all get on not one platform and say, oh my God, this is not what I voted for. You know what you were getting. You knew you were getting the same exact thing you got in 2020. The only thing is, you're going to be dumb enough to sit up here and blame someone else for Trump's decisions and your vote. Because by the time this comes down the pipeline, it'll be 27, 28. And Frumpy will be getting ready to get out of the office, and the next president will take his place. And that president will be responsible for everything this man has created right now in 2025. I don't want to hear your children don't have an education. They don't have food to eat at school. Free lunches are gone. Nobody wants to hear that there is no hospital in your goddamn town anymore because you voted for your hospital to be destroyed. Because you voted to eliminate everything, including Medicaid. And the reason you voted for all of this, because you only thought it was going to affect immigrants and people who were not white. Congratulations, you played yourself.
Well, the Senate has just passed that one big, beautiful bill, and Speaker Mike Johnson is affirming that it will be on the president's desk by July 4th. J.D. Vance actually was the tiebreaker vote as it came 50-50 on the Senate floor after the long negotiations where they were supposed to read all 900 pages. As of a few minutes ago, that one big, beautiful bill cutting Medicaid, CCDF, cutting taxes for the rich while taxing the poor will be on the president's desk by July 4th. House GOP leaders said they will immediately consider the Senate's reconciliation bill, adding they'll send it to the president's desk by the self-imposed 4th of July deadline. The Senate has just passed that Donald Trump's tax and spending bill after more than 24 hours of negotiation. As stated before, the vote came to 50-50, and Vice President J.D. Vance was in the chamber to cast the tiebreaker vote. If I could put this into layman terms, there will be a significant amount of Americans who are fit. And please remember, when you go to the hospital and can't afford to pay for child care, you can't have health care. It's going to be your fault because you voted for this.
So that bill is going to affect millions of people has passed in the Senate, and J.D. Vance was the dividing factor. President Trump's bill is going to give big tax breaks to the 1%, and it's going to fuck all of the middle class, lower class, and rural areas. More than 300 hospitals will be shut down because of this bill. Yep, and mostly in red states, so be prepared. On top of that, everybody's electricity bill is going the up. Yep, you're right. Because Trump is getting rid of green energy. That means windmills and solar power. Not to mention the $900 and something billion in tax cuts for the 1%. When it comes to Planned Parenthood, well, there's no more Medicaid. So that means no more health and wellness checks under Medicaid at Planned Parenthood. No STD, STI checks. No mental health checks. No immunization. All of that is gone. But hey, the 1% gets everything they need. But SNAP is going to be cut. Social Security cut. Veterans assistance cut. Is this what the fuck y'all voted for? Hell, gas prices ain't even down.
I would like to give a resounding round of applause. A resounding round of applause to Maga. Why? Oh, baby, you haven't heard? You voted for your own demise. It just got worse. When we told y'all that y'all were the largest subgroup of humans, recipients of SNAP benefits, Medicaid, all that stuff, when we told y'all that y'all were the major benefits of that, beneficiaries of that, y'all looked us dead in our face and swore that it was us. You know what just happened? Senate just cut your Medicaid and your food stamps. No more methany. No more. No more SNAP, no more Medicaid, no more none of that. No more assistance, no more NAN, no more governmental aid. All of those MAGA supporters that are veterans, you're not safe. You're no longer safe. Turns out, being in the service doesn't make you exempt of billionaires. You're just as much of a worker as everybody else. They consider you to be a machine the way that they consider everybody else to be a machine. I'll tell you no lies. Congress just voted to add $3.26 trillion worth of debt to our annual debt in this country. And do you know where the $1 trillion tax cuts that they're giving to those billionaires are going to come from? Your food stamps, your Medicaid, your Head Start program. Yeah, girl. They gassed you up with the battery in your bag. They got you all excited. They was like, those blacks, those Mexicans, those Asians, they're the reason why you're so poor. They don't appreciate the hard work of being an American. They finessed shit, y'all. And then they showed you what it really is to be an American. The American dream is nothing but finesse. And you got finessed. They sold you a pipe dream. Told you that because you were white, you were better. But what they really was trying to say, like, because you're white, we look at you less horribly as we look at people of color. But also you're white, so why don't you have more money? Why are you even on these services to begin with? Because where was your ancestors when the rest of them were stealing, pillaging, raping, and all that? You then literally watched as they did this before and then voted for them to do it again in grandeur. To the point where you can't even come back from this. Like, y'all gonna be down bad. Heavy on the y'all, MAGA. Down bad, like real bad. And it's not heavy on us because, babe, what part of y'all were the number one beneficiaries of it did you not understand? We've been in the black community, in the brown communities, they've been telling us no for years for those benefits. And when we do get it, We got to jump through so many hoops. We're fully aware of what it takes and what we got to do when we get kicked off of those benefits. We got to make some shit shake. We come from a long line of makers. We come from a long line of making shit shakers, but you, Methany, I don't know, ma'am. I don't know. They gave themselves tax cuts before they decided to increase your wages. They gave themselves tax cuts before they decided to make life easier for the people that are actually making the money. They gave themselves tax cuts before they decided to invest in your education and healthcare, and then sent the money that you made overseas to somebody else to help them out, to give them free education and free healthcare, and to take care of their kids because they were okay with people in order to get said money. It's too late, babe. You already voted. You already voted for this. Look, here comes the consequences of not listening to black women.
The big, beautiful bill is indeed beautiful for 750 billionaires who are going to be getting 3.5 trillion in tax cuts. The big, beautiful bill is also beautiful for multinational corporations and governments like China, Saudi Arabia, and others who loan money to the U.S. because the national debt is expected to rise to $36 trillion. The big, beautiful bill is not beautiful to countless others, an estimated 70 million. For those individuals, it's brutal because they will be losing Medicaid, they will be losing food assistance, or they will lose access to one of 300 hospitals that will likely close. And in the let them eat cake messaging around the big, beautiful bill, we are telling individuals like Alzheimer's patients and memory care to get a job. Big, beautiful to some, brutal to most.
We don't want to hear when you lose your Medicaid. We don't want to hear when you lose your SNAP. We don't want to hear from those states when FEMA doesn't show up for your tornadoes, hurricanes, and floods this year. We don't want to hear when you figure out that those tax breaks are not for you, but they're for the rich. We don't want to hear when you figure out that no tax on tips and overtime ain't even real. We don't want to hear you figure out that he is increasing the debt ceiling by trillions of dollars, which is going to cost us a lot because we try to tell you. So you're excited about this bill passing? Just remember when all that happens to you to not open your mouth.
I am praying on the downfall of America. It's time for this to die. This whole system needs to go. It needs to be buried. Billionaires, millionaires, getting tax cuts while the least of us will die. Overpaying a small percentage of your income to the government for the social services that help the greater good. That is what we have allowed to happen. That's what we've allowed to happen. So since that's where we are, I hope that the system perishes. I hope that it ceases to exist. I hope that the White House crashes. I hope that the Congress crashes. I hope that the judiciary crashes. I hope that all the law enforcement crashes. Like, I hope that everything that makes this place run as it runs goes away so that we can create something new. Because that is our only hope. That is it.
The big, beautiful bill. How's that going? You know it has to be bad for a sorry Republican to sit up here and fuck tired. Give up his career before he can support some lame shit like this. How bad is it? It's bad. The Democrats filibuster night. Republicans say, I don't give a fuck if you stay up all night and the next night too. We're going to pass this because we're hypocrites. And now Trump wants to sit up here and reconsider the 4th of July deadline. He actually wants to give these son of a bitches more time. Why? Because he knows it's failing. He knows the more they negotiate about this bill in Congress and the Senate, that the people are wise to this, that they're screwing them. The people know that the senators and the congressmen are not representing their best interests. They're representing the funds and the tax cuts. That's what it's about, and it's been exposed. They know they're going to close these hospitals. They know these red states are going to be hit harder than blue states, and they don't give up because they sold their souls to Donald Trump. It's so funny they had a moment of courage with Senator Tillis, who said, I'd rather fucking retire than support this bill. I'm not going.
So they officially passed the big, beautiful bill, and it's now going to go into effect. But it's just really dumb to me because they're going to be cutting Medicaid and SNAP benefits. So what is the point of that? They're also cutting student aid and then cutting funding from public schools as well. But you know what they're going to do? They're going to take away the tax on gun silencers. They're going to lower the taxes on that because that's what matters. You know what I mean? It's just crazy that they called it a big, beautiful bill when it quite literally is going to affect a lot of Americans in a negative way because they receive these benefits. They receive this government assistance because they need it, and that's why they have it. And now all is being cut. Makes absolutely no sense at all. And it's being cut in order for rich people to get more rich. When the people who are on assistance because they need that. The rich people don't technically need that government assistance. So why the f are you getting rid of something that's helping other people in order for you to get richer when you already have a lot of money? You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. And it's called a big, beautiful bill, which is ironic because it's ugly as fuck. And it's literally going to cause harm to a lot of people in America. Just, it makes no sense to me at all. This shit actually so fucking dumb. It's ridiculous.
I think that every politician, anybody that is in the state or federal government, should go through something called a poverty simulation. Or better yet, we should just require that everyone live on minimum wage for a month. And here's why. When I was in college, I had the opportunity to participate in a poverty simulation, which was extremely eye-opening to me as like a very privileged middle-class white American. But also hearing the comments of my fellow participants was just mind-boggling. People completely unaware of the barriers and restrictions and just like everyday considerations that people are facing every single day. The number of times I know that I heard, well, that's not fair. Well, how am I going to make that work? And it's like, yeah, imagine if this was your real life. There are people that are struggling with this every day. Like this is a game essentially right now. And I think it just gives people a lot of empathy. Or maybe it would help people realize how dumb their policies are. We have so many people in our government who have no clue what the average American goes through. And that's not right.
The big beautiful bill just passed the Senate, and so we are pretty much fucked. So here's what happened. Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, Republican senator, was saying that she might be voting no. So we were all watching her, and instead of voting no, she voted yes. And so it was a 50-50 tie in the Senate, and J.D. Vance, being the VP, is the tiebreaker, and he of course voted yes. And so now it moves on to the House, and since the House has a Republican majority, it is 100% going to pass in the House, which will make it law once the president signs it, which of course he will. Now here's the thing, this is the fucked up part. Lisa is now saying, she's telling reporters, that she hopes the House will revise it. And then it will go back to the Senate because it's not ready to be passed. You freaking dweeb! If it's not ready to be passed, then you say no. You vote no on a bill that's not ready to be passed. You don't vote yes on it. You don't vote yes. It's very simple. It's very simple. Why would you vote yes on a bill that you do not think is ready to be passed? Especially when you know it's going to a House majority that will vote yes on it. So this bill will be passed. It's not going to go back to the Senate. I mean, it could, but it's not going to go back to the Senate. And so now we're looking at almost $1 trillion in cuts to Medicaid, SNAP. We're talking millions of children will go hungry. Veterans, elderly folks. Those of you who have parents that will probably have to be put in facilities or care centers, say goodbye to any type of retirement or savings that you might have, because it is going to be coming out of your pocket, because Medicaid is what pays for that care, by the way. We are so royally screwed. Not to mention, in this bill, say goodbye to our national parks, because they're selling those off. Say goodbye to any level of democracy. This is full scale. This is everything that we have been warning you about coming to fruition. And you can thank Lisa Murkowski of Alaska.
You know what is crazy that I was just reading in the Big Beautiful Bill? Like, I had to read it 7 times and double check this information what I was reading in the Big Beautiful Bill. So if you make $15,000 or less, you will be taxed at a 74% rate. I'm not lying, at a 74% rate. If you make less than $15,000, you might as well go exempt. You might as well go exempt the whole year. If you're making $30,000 or less, $30,000 or less, you will be taxed at a 20.6% rate. 20% rate if you make less than $30,000. I couldn't believe I was seeing what I was just reading, but they finna really gut the poor people, also taking away their SNAP benefits, taking away their Medicaid and their Medicare. They finna gut the poor to its core. 74% for anybody that's making $15,000 a year. And a lot of y'all, them white rural Trump supporters, you finna give up 3/4 of your money to the government to pay for taxes for the rich. Ain't that a bitch? FAFO on you. Cause this is crazy. This is crazy.
The only thing that could make sense in my head is one of the things that I've heard Black people and Americans in general say about this whole MAGA movement, that it is a cult. Because these people are so afraid of saying no, because they know whoever says no to him is going to be banished. These people are going to be kicked out. They're going to be treated like bastards. And so people are literally afraid of how he's going to treat them than the commitment they were supposed to give to the people. Because these people are supposed to be serving others. And people have been crying and screaming, telling them this bill should not be passed because it is going to be affecting us. It's not because people want free things. You see how many people are going to come out and say, we're going to be okay. We haven't been depending on this. Majority of them, by the way, it's these people that have been depending on Medicaid, SNAP benefits, disability, all of these. Now that is going to be taken away. And those that belong to that camp that are saying, you know what, me, I'm going to be okay. I'm not going to suffer. Except if you have that individualistic mindset and you are just a selfish person. You must have a family member in your circle that is been either benefiting from disability. And you know, America is not a community-oriented society, okay? Whereby me, I take care of my mother, okay? Because she took care of me. This whole saying of, oh, you know, I didn't ask to be born. Sweetheart, there are so many people that abandon their responsibilities as parents and they don't do anything for their kids. I finished school without school loans. This money came out of this woman's pockets, right? And I feel disgusted to help and support her in her old age. And I think that is the palm-colored culture, you know? So a lot of them are like, we are okay. If they go, they go. If they pass, they pass, okay? But except if you don't have, for the Magas, except if you don't have anybody that is elderly, that is on disability, except if you don't have kids that are, you know, have autism, learning disorders, and all of this, right? Except if you don't have any. But if you do, this is going to affect you 100%, except if you make $1 million that you will be able to, you know, meet all these necessities and these, you know, payments, right? But if not, you're going to lose your people. You get? And I think for me, it's the fact that these people are super afraid of losing their loyalty to him than, the people that actually voted them and put them in power. And another thing that hurts the most is those that didn't vote for this are going to be suffering. You see, a lot of people will tell Magas, this is what you voted for. And some people will be like, oh, they knew exactly what they were voting for. They did know. They knew, okay, what they were voting for. But let me tell you, some of them did not understand how extreme this is gonna go. A lot of them. They knew that some of these things are gonna happen, but they didn't know to what level of extremity this is gonna go. And to what level is it gonna affect them? Because they removed themselves out of the picture and believed 34 felon president that changes his mind. Today you don't know which version you're going to get out of him. And those that voted and those that did not vote, everyone is gonna be affected. And for my people, I understand you guys are gonna be okay. But I know there's a grandma that you have that has not been dependent on you. You go there and visit her once in a while. Say hi, she has everything. She's capable of going to the hospital and getting treatment. Not because some of these people have retirement benefits that are coming in, because some don't have that, except for those that were working in corporate and in those jobs that offers those benefits. But some of our people don't even have retirement benefits. So they've been living on government assistance. Not just them. I'm just saying, because I'm on the part of our people, because a lot of the people that have been on these assistances, majority of them are these. What hurts me the most is the fact that even our people, because I've had and conversed with quite a number of my people that reside in America that are a bit, grown, ages 50, 60, 70, right? Yeah, I have a very, very mature audience on here. And I think my audience is really balanced, okay? But I have a very consistent, mature audience that watches me on here. When I think about them, my heart aches, because there are those that were on disability. There were those that were on Medicaid. There were those that were getting SNAP benefits. Yes. And now it's done. Okay? So, MAGA has brought the entire country to its demise. All the pain everybody's going to be going through. It's because of them. Because you know what? They didn't know how extreme this is going to come. Not to others, let's not forget, they didn't care about others, but to them. And I don't know what it is going to take for them to do something. Unfortunately, even when it came to him being impeached, people opposed it. So I don't know what is going to be too much. Because to be honest, chances are this bill is going to go through. Because the House has majority Republicans. I can't believe there are even those Republican Congress people that were saying, you know what, as long as my state is not affected, I'm gonna vote yes. Let me know what you think in the comment section. That level of selfishness, I've never seen it. That level of hate you have towards others, and the level of loyalty you have towards this scout, because you don't want to be banished, because once you turn against him, he's gonna come after you. I've never seen it. These people are literally not afraid of the fact that they may not be voted for, like in the next whatever election, because for them they have not been voted yet. They're not even afraid. And America is not full of rich people. It's people that are just trying to make ends meet. Yeah. People that are still 70, 60, that are still working. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and share it. Let me know what you think in the comment section. For me, for today, that's it. Until then, my name is Gracie and I love all of you. I'll see you in another amazing video. Bye.